welcome back to the Crunch Time Kitchen, where we are continuing our space theme by making the big cheese. Daniel, what is the big cheese in the sky?
They think it's the moon.
The moon, I love it, because if you look up, it looks like a wheel of cheese. Well, today we are going to be making our very own ricotta, which is a soft cheese. Now, who loves cheese? Everybody. Brilliant, and we hope you do at home. So we're going to start by heating this milk to 93 degrees. That pasteurises it, and it also means that it's at the right temperature to season it up and allow the salt to absorb. Depending on the type of cheese, you'd season it at different times, but because we're making a fresh cheese, which is the ricotta, we season it at this point. Meanwhile, Daniel, I'm going to get you to dissolve some citric acid into some water. Now, citric acid is literally something that can be extracted from any sort of acidic citrus fruit, so lemon or grapefruit or lime. So I'm going to get you to pour it into that little bowl and then pour all of it.
Francis, you add the water in there, get it in there.
Yeah, get that in there, Francis. And then, Daniel, you can stir it in, make sure it's all absorbed. Wonderful.
Francis, do you have a favourite type of cheese that you adore?
Parmesan cheese.
Parmesan cheese.
Yeah.
Now, Parmesan is a hard cheese, and that takes months to mature. Around about 18 to 24 months is a really good Parmesan. Thank you, Daniel. That is perfect. That's totally absorbed. Wonderful. And now we are going to pour it in here. We've got the thermometer. Oops. Good. We're going to pour it in here and stir it around. Now, because it's hot, I'm going to do this job, and you will actually see the milk curdle as we stir. So what's actually happening, oh, check it out. Have a look in there. Don't come too close because it's still hot. But see how the acid is making all those milk proteins kind of solidify and come away from the whey. And that's whey, W-H-E-Y, and that's the liquid. Now, there are different ways of creating this lacto fermentation. People use rennet, they use vinegar, they use all sorts of different things. Now, I'm going to stop stirring that one because the rest of it is going to happen naturally, and I'm going to leave it alone. Let's swap them over because we want it to cool. And as it slowly starts to solidify, it starts to look something like this.
It's starting to smell like cheese, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can you smell it? Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the acid with the lactic acid, I suppose, that you can start to smell. And it can smell a little bit farty, a little bit fermenty. That's the bacteria in there as well, starting to do its thing. Now what we're going to do is bring over the bowl. Wonderful, and the ladle as well. Now I'm gonna try and drain this so that you can actually see what the whey and the curd look like. So that there, that liquid, that's whey. See it? Now you don't get rid of that because you can still do things with it. For example, people make pickles or some different fermented vegetables using whey protein. Now this, that's the curd. Looks completely different, and that is the milk solids that we're now going to pop into here to make the cheese. So, because this is cool, I'm going to get, Francis, do you want to hold that, our little colander maturation container, and I'm going to scoop little bits of this, and Daniel, you can pour that in. You can take turns, in fact.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's the whey coming through.
Right. That water's like the same colour. It's not very clean. It looks a bit like the Amazon.
Very well played, Nick. Very well played. An Amazonian effort. Now, let's see. Daniel, want to keep going? Normally, what they would do is they'd make massive batches, and this tiny little colander is humongous, bigger than this bowl, in fact. Wonderful. And then depending on the type of cheese, they would let that mature. Something like a ricotta matures overnight, but something like a Parmesan, as I said, can take years to mature. And it's a real art form. Whoops. That was a little bit much. And you want it to be quite dense, so you can press it down. Look at all that whey coming out. Daniel, you want to keep going with that one? Wonderful. Try and scoop up as much of that curd as possible. And you can eat it at this point too. That's really, really fresh. But letting it drain and solidify overnight gives you a denser, richer texture. Lovely. That's looking fantasking. Okay, now we are going to press that one down. Yep, good job. I'm going to press this down using the ladle, why not? Squish. And it's okay to get your hands dirty, because that's what cooking's all about. Wonderful. So now what we're going to do is we're going to pop that in the fridge. Francis, do you want to take that over to the fridge, Nick?
Okay.
I'll get you to assist.
Sure.
And maybe pop it onto that as well. And take out the one that's already been prepared. I made this one yesterday. Let's see what it looks like now. Lovely.
There you go.
Thank you kindly. Now, Daniel, do you want to grab that little board? Wonderful.
And how long should you let a ricotta sit for, Alice?
Well, you could let it sit overnight, but as I said, you can kind of eat it as straight away. And it's really, really fluffy and fresh. Are we ready to turn it out? Who wants to do the honours?
Daniel can.
Daniel, turn it out.
From a height.
Bam! Yes.
Oh!
Look at that. And in Italy, where ricotta originates, they have different shaped colanders. So this one would indicate that it was made by the Crunchy family.
And the really big colanders, are they called Highlanders? Alice?
They are, and there can only be one of those. Now, here we go. Just a little bit of this ricotta. Who wants to have first try?
I'll have a go.
Good choice. All right,
Francis putting his hand up there.
Love it. Body on the line. You ready to taste?
Yep.
There you go. And if you want to taste this for yourself, the recipe is available on our website. Check it out. Cheese making 101.
Yum.
What do you think, Francis?
I think we need a few more slices.
Yes. All right, I'm going to slice this up, cheese it out, and see you right after the break.
Crunch time.